Janna, you're here with us today to see if we can't solve some issues with your bite. You came in on a consult several weeks ago, and what we're looking at today is actually treating the bite, and specifically bite force and bite timing issues that you have. During the consult, you had said that it was harder for you to go to the right side than it was for you to make a movement to the left, ruling out joint issues because your joints look fine. Tell me some of the symptoms that you've been having. Let's see, anything from the shoulders up.
I think I first noticed changes in just the ear and the bite and the jaw after I did finish my ortho. I felt that I was waking up with more clenching. I was wearing my teeth flatter. I have really bad recession on a couple of my molars. The explanations were always, don't brush too hard, but that didn't make sense because why aren't the other teeth receding as well? I think I finished ortho about 5 years ago, and the symptoms just get progressively worse. I feel like I actually called a hearing specialist to find out if I could schedule for hearing loss and test my hearing, because I feel like my right ear is full all the time. It kind of feels like when you get water after swimming.
Sure.
And when you swallow, it has that kind of ticking, clicking feeling. I also have ringing in my right ear. Not every day, but every few days. My eyes, I wake up with them feeling pretty heavy, but it's getting progressively worse, yeah.
Okay. Any tension in your shoulder or neck?
There is, by the end of the day, I think I feel, I'm also very active and lift, and I always kind of attributed it to maybe sore muscles from lifting or running.
And so when you wake up, are your teeth tender, or the sides of your face hurt? Any jaw pain?
Yes, like this morning right now, I can feel a throbbing, and it's tender right when I push on my right side, right back here, and it always feels kind of like they've been shut a long time, like that creaky door in the morning when I first open my mouth. It's just like I have to go kind of work out the
Stretch
jaw.
them out a little bit. Now, you made a motion with your right hand. Is that more around the tooth, or is it the teeth down the bottom that you feel it, the teeth on the top, both, or were you kind of like in the joint area, or is it in front of the joint area?
It feels like it's right here.
Okay.
And then it kind of goes down the molar areas where
Sure.
yeah, that must have done there.
Okay. Round one of DTR is done. It's been about 28 minutes since we started. Tell me what you noticed. Tell me what you feel.
I think immediately I feel clearer in my eyes and head, and temple region. I had some tenderness in my jaw right prior to the treatment. My jaw, both sides were very stiff, tight when I would open and shut. This doesn't even feel tender when I'm pushing on it now. And
That muscle on the lower right.
yeah, just the muscle over here by my ear. My head feels clear. It feels like almost, I couldn't have described it before, but it feels now like it was foggy and now more like it's just clearer. My bite does feel like the teeth are hitting a little bit better on my right. I feel like I can open my jaw farther. And it's really crazy how seeing the results on the screen, going from all of these colors and boxes and heights to, looks like a calmer city.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about the peaks on the TekScan.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all about the same size now.
Yes.
So essentially what we did was we made very precise computer-guided adjustments, and there are teeth in your mouth I didn't even touch. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So is it fair to say that when you bite down that you have a home where all your teeth touch at the same time?
It does feel like that. That's a good description, where before it felt more like it would just be this domino more effect. Like it'd start here and then it would kind of rattle around and close. And now I feel like it's just one domino falling and it's all...
just boom, same time.
Same time, it's there. Feels very... It's amazing how it feels so dramatic and it was so slight.
Yeah. So we're not making big revisions, is that fair?
Yeah, I wasn't sure of how the treatment, what you did during the treatments, and a lot of this here is more for the gauging and measuring where my bite is, and then just going back and getting the fine contouring of my teeth with your instruments, and then it's amazing how just filing and contouring the teeth. I do feel like my jaw is looser.
The tension is gone.
Yeah, and we've done nothing except the treatment and the contouring of the teeth, so I feel it's directly correlated to bite adjustment and the bite and the teeth.
Because see, what's hard is there's no instrument for measuring pain.
Yeah. Well, before we started this, I wouldn't have said I was in pain. I would have said I was uncomfortable, and we adapt to, and our pain tolerance, we just learn to live with things.
Sure.
And now, having just 30 minutes later, I would say I'm glad I don't have to live with those things. If this is how I can get better,
Sure.
You don't have to be uncomfortable. You don't have to be in a lot of pain. I think a lot of patients might be in excruciating pain. I wasn't in excruciating pain, but I'm going to feel like if these symptoms continue to get better, it's going to change my life.
Let me ask you, would your jaws get tired when you would eat specific foods, something that would maybe require a little bit more effort on your part? Not that you would eat like a bagel or a steak regularly, but just so we could have a gauge, like in the next week, go eat one or two of those things and see if there's a difference.
I think it's funny you bring that up, because just like I was talking about how we adapt, I find myself, when I think of my diet, it's all very soft foods. I eat eggs and avocados and tomatoes. I drink smoothies. I eat very soft foods. And so, again, whether you're on a spectrum of pain, I find that I've adapted, and I think a lot of patients might find themselves, if they're watching this, checking themselves and thinking, yeah, I've adapted to my pain, I've adapted to the uncomfortable feelings, and you begin to shift your life from the way you want to be living, the things you want to be doing, and the things that you want to be eating, just to accommodate these little changes over time that I've found become very uncomfortable and eventually painful.
Sure.
So.
So if you gain a couple of pounds, you're not gonna come after me, are you?
If I can eat a steak now, it's gonna be worth it. The treatment
Okay.
is worth it if I can eat a steak.
All right, excellent. All right. So, Janna, you're back with us today for another DTR revision. Originally, I had hoped to get you in a little earlier than today,
Yes.
but it took a little longer to get you back in for a revision. So just tell me what you noticed since the last revision, like immediate after and then leading up to now.
I think after the last revision, the symptoms went away very quickly. A lot of relief. I did put this off way too long, probably double the time that you recommended. Just schedules got busy.
Happens.
And so I think that that's what's lending to so much pain. I mean, the last week I've had 4 days where I just have to lay in bed and just close my eyes. My entire head fills, my ears get really full, headaches. The locking of the jaw isn't as bad, but my teeth feel really like they're touching more on the right side than the left. Just a lot of fullness and headache, which is why kind of last minute get me in today sort of thing.
So any neck or shoulder issues along with that?
Not a whole lot that I'm noticing. It's mainly just the entire head is full. My eyes feel very puffy and
Okay.
this ear's now full and kind of not ringing, but just that clicking sound when I swallow.
Okay.
So.
So Jenny, you just had a quick revision. I don't know what we spent, probably 12 minutes just getting the bike fine-tuned, some of the revisions that we made.
Yeah.
The scans look a lot better. You notice anything different?
Immediately I felt clearer again. It always happens when I get the revision. I mean, my head feels very clear. I commented that it feels like my ibuprofen kicked in. Like it feels like that relief immediately. The jaw is still sore from the bite being off and my muscles working and clenching. But my nose doesn't feel as stuffy. This side feels clearer, the ear. And then the whole head behind my eyes feels empty.
Good.
Yeah.
No tension. Is that fair?
No tension.
You felt like the bite was coming together more on the left side, which you were having trouble feeling prior to the revision.
Yeah, it feels, when I bite, it feels all together.
So we're just going to give you some time to heal.
Yep.
Let the muscles relax, and then we're going to bring you back in and check everything.
And follow my appointment recommendation.
Yes. Janna, you're back with us today. We're kind of finishing up your DTR treatment, and the scans are starting to look stable for the first time in about 4 or 5 visits, and that's what I'm finding as I do more of this. It's not so much 2 or 3 anymore. I'm getting a better result the farther we go out.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, how have things been for the last, little bit? Because I know we had a couple of weeks in between some revisions where they were pretty rough for you, and you were having some pretty bad headaches, where before you weren't having any symptoms with this, but we had signs of recession and occlusal wear abfraction. So we knew that you were doing something with your teeth, although you were probably able to compensate for what was going on, so that you weren't developing symptoms. And then once we're kind of in the midway process, you start developing symptoms as you're healing, and it sounds like things have kind of leveled out. So just kind of bring me up to speed with what's going on.
Yeah, they have leveled out. The symptoms did get pretty bad mid-treatment, and just the idea of understanding how the body works with healing, I was able to kind of understand and gut through the symptoms at that point. And then just getting the, I again need to mention, I waited a little bit longer between one of the revisions on my appointments, and I think that I could have stuck to my original appointment without pushing it back, and I probably wouldn't have gotten the intense symptoms.
As far back, yeah.
But since that, just keeping up on the appointments, getting in for the revisions, I'm finding that the healing is, when it is progressing very nicely, and like today the readings are more stable, and I'm not feeling the headaches and the pain that I was before.
What about the fatigue? Because you said you were really tired
Yeah,
when it was bad.
during the mid part, the fatigue, I mean, I was back in bed almost immediately after I'd wake up. That's getting better. My energy levels are increasing again,
Good.
which is nice. And just this morning my jaw was a little bit sore, but I have some other stresses in life that you can't attribute every little thing to.
So, yeah, sure.
To the process of this. It's easy once you're in therapy or treatment, you're like, everything is that.
Yeah, right. You gotta beware of Google too, because like you Google your symptoms, you're like, oh my God, I got cancer.
I know. This all has to do with TTR.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, I get it. I'm a realist and understand. But to save my teeth, the recession was really bad. Like you mentioned, the symptoms in the beginning were not what I came in for. It was more the recession and losing the teeth that I started the process for,
Sure.
and then struggling with the symptoms during. But knowing that my teeth are probably going to last longer, which is good.
Not break.
Not break and
Yeah.
have to replace, because I've had one implant already at my age, so.
So let me ask you, you're still sleeping with the earplugs.
I'm still sleeping with earplugs.
Is the right ear still problematic?
I have not had it wasn't all the time. It was an occasional when I'd wake up in the middle of the night or something and take it out, or that there would be an intense pain with it. And I have not had that. I didn't have that at all since I started DTR.
Okay. So
That was one thing I had before.
beforehand.
I think it's all just about our bodies adjust to what we're giving it to adjust to.
Absolutely.
And so, before the process, my body was in a certain measuring stance and stuff, and my body was adapting to that pain, and now going through the adjustments, it's having to adapt to that. And so,
Sure.
our bodies are pretty amazing. I think another one that I was dealing with, like my eyes would, what is that called? When they would like twitch back and forth.
I'll have to look that up. I don't know. Kind of like a spasm in the muscles.
Yeah, where like all of a sudden it would go like, and that would happen before, and I haven't had that happen recently.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, how does the bite feel for you?
The bite feels strong.
Okay.
Before I did not feel. I don't ever know what to compare it to,
Of course.
And you only know as you go along this process what it's supposed to feel like.
Right.
But everything feels, it's interesting that I now know my bite was not touching, and it was really weak, and I was adjusting, my body was trying to figure it out, and now it feels like you've mentioned, like it's home, like there's a home base for my teeth to sit and to rest, and it's just interesting. I find myself feeling it more,
Now, one of the things that you said was it was really hard for you to go right or left, and you almost felt like you were locked in.
Yes.
As you have this new awareness about your bite, you may not have the range of motion that ideally you would want, but do you feel like you have a greater range of motion?
Absolutely, it feels more fluid, just like you greased my wheels, sort of a thing. Like
Sure.
It did feel very tight and almost swollen to move back and forth. Like you said, it felt locked in, although I never had lockjaw or anything. But when I was trying to move, it was just a strain to move it. And when we do the adjustments now, or the measuring now, I feel like it's just an easier slide either way. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you were a fast responder to a lot of this stuff. Like, you would come in not in a good place, we would do the adjustment, and you would say, okay, the cloudiness is gone.
Yeah, almost every adjustment, immediately I felt relief in my head. And then it would, deteriorate a little bit, during the healing process.
Right.
But that initial, like, oh, I can breathe again,
Yeah.
with the adjustments was a really nice, it was something that I would anticipate in the adjustments to come in and be like, okay, in 20 minutes I'm going to feel better.
Yeah, right. Well, good.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
Are you glad you had it done?
I'm very glad.
Good.
Yes.
Ooh.